So in the interest of balance, obviously we need to look at the concessions. There's never a good goal to concede, but they were quite ugly, weren't they, the two that we let in? How would you break them down?
Yeah, really disappointed in that first one, as I'm sure we all are. Um, you look at that, and on first sight, you're asking, how's Larson got so much space on that right touch line? And you're immediately looking at your left wing back, which was Dallo today, and he was nowhere to be seen. So that was my first reaction. How has that happened? And on a quick review back on the way home, you look at that, and it does come back to our kind of 5-2-3 press that we've talked about at the start of this season. And the fact that if all players aren't at it and they're not man for man in the right areas of the pitch, then these goals will continue to happen. So it is something that Amram and his coaching staff will have to look at. Just as a way of a reminder, so Burnley have got the ball at the back. Um, Obviously, we then push up. I don't think we were as high as we've been against Fulham and Arsenal today. I thought we were a lot deeper as a back line, but we were pushing up in the right manner, pressure on the ball when Burnley have got it at the back. And Xerxes just goes a little late. So he goes a little late to the centre back when he receives. Now, the centre back can look left and right. If he looks left, he knows that Ahmad is not pushed high enough on the left back, or he can go through the centre. So we see the central midfielder dropping in. I think it was Cullen. Kobe goes with him, leaves a big space between Kobe and Casemiro. Ball is then played brilliantly, I thought, because you'd think centre back's got it, he can go to the left or to the right. He plays it through the centre of Kobe and Casemiro. And then you think, right, who's that? Well, it was Hannibal. Sorry, it was Hannibal dropping deep,
Mhm.
and Shaw's had to follow him all the way out. So whether that was a plan from Parker, it was a really, really good example of a kind of an up, back, and through approach. So Hannibal's come to collect. Shaw's had to follow him out. Dallow's had to tuck in to cover for Shaw, and that leaves the glaring error, that glaring space, if you like, in Burnley's right channel. So ball then is played back and then straight out over to that right channel. And in a nutshell, Larson's on his own. He can do what he wants. Dallo and Shaw are then caught back in retreat in the same position at left centre back. Larson's got all the time in the world, whips it in. Foster, by this point, has peeled off Shaw's back, and he's got, oceans of space to put it past Bayern. So that Shaw and Dallo mix up, whether that was, something that the Burnley have worked on and seen how to get beyond United's midfield, it has paid dividends for them today. And you kind of don't want to blame Dallo too much because he's had to cover for Shaw jumping on Hannibal. But once Shaw then speaks to him, he needs to get right back out there and stop that cross. And he is just, it only takes 2 seconds, and that's what the result is.
In fairness to Dallo, he did atone within a minute, didn't he? To be fair.
Yeah, really good response. Just as we're all sat there going, "Oh my God, it's the same again. It's Groundhog Day." Really good response from United. Dallo has obviously took it upon himself. I thought he made that run down the outside a good number of times today, and to good effect, especially with that lovely ball across. And Brian's finished that beautifully from what I could see.
Absolutely. And then obviously Burnley equalised again. Another set piece. Again, not the best on a rewatch, is it?
No, I think we're trying to analyze that one. You'd look at how does that throw in materialize? And again, it goes back to our play out. So interesting on this one, Bayern Deer and the back line try something different.
Mm.
And Bayern Deer plays it direct to Casemiro now, who stood next to the inverted Delit. And then Casemiro has tried to play the first time ball around the corner to his right side, and the ball just goes out of play, and immediately he's put his hand up. So that was frustrating because United had tried something different from the goal kick, and to ensure that we get out and there's space ahead and we can hit the channel and involve Ahmad and Bumo. But sadly, he's just overhit his pass. It's gone out of play. And then the resulting goal effectively comes from that. Walker comes over to a lovely serenade from the Stretford end, and then the ball comes in. Could Casemiro have then won his aerial duel? Yes, probably. I think he should be doing everything then to put his mistake right. He misses it. Ball comes across. Sure, bit of a weak header, if I'm honest. Bruno, yeah, he could be a little bit aware of who's around him, and he's a bit late to it. Ball comes back in, Binday parries, and then it goes in. So, not another, let's say, glorious piece of defending, and something we really need to work on.